Ding ding.
No.
It's Rocky 3, Dave.
Jesus Christ.
Bum, 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 bum,
You're all washed
bum,
up,
bum,
you
bum.
tomato.
You tomato.
You tomato.
You had that eye of the tiger, man, the edge. And now you got to get it back. And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Kyle and Dave versus the Machine. This is the video edition, of course. I think you and I are both fans of Rocky, the character.
Yes.
Very long
The
story
institution, I
franchise.
suppose,
The
yeah.
institution. Let's jump into it. What were your initial thoughts on rewatching Rocky 3?
I thought it was really boring. No, that's not fair. Okay, I made two mistakes. One is I watched Rocky recently. In other words, in the lead up to watch this, and Rocky is one of the greatest films ever made. It is, culture defining in America, and it still gives me the chills. I know it almost beat for beat, and I can still get absorbed into that film. And then I watched Rocky 2, and then I got to Rocky 3, and this thing got so pulpy and cartoony and
It's Rocky's
cheeseball.
greatest challenge to save his honor, his marriage, and his manhood.
Had no story, no good writing. The montage is fine. I got bored. I couldn't last the full rounds. I couldn't make the 15.
I'm a little bit more positive on this movie than you, and that I do actually find it fairly rewatchable, even though I fully recognize the deficiency that this movie has.
It's not a good movie, yeah.
No, I do think it's a good movie. I also rewatched Rocky 1 and 2 in the lead up to this, and you do notice things right away where you have, in those first two films, I think a beautifully written character in Apollo.
Creed on January 1st gives a local underdog fighter an opportunity. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sentimental.
I think it's given a great arc even in this movie.
Yes.
But the villain, quote unquote villain, in Clubber Lang, Mr. T, who's great at
Why
being
you
the
telling
villain.
these nice folks why you been ducking me?
You know, you got a big mouth.
Why don't you come out and close your mouth, boy? Come on.
But what do we actually know about him?
Nothing.
Literally
They
nothing.
give you a cardboard cutout,
Yeah.
like a Rock'em Sock'em doll.
And this is also shorter than those two movies.
Yeah.
The first two are 2 hours long. This is a 90-minute film. It's in, it's out. Like, it's trying to go as fast. It's like a First Blood. It's trying to be as impactful as
sure.
always, but at the expense of, I think, fully
If you take the
realized
montages
characters.
out, how many minutes are the actual
That
film?
is true. There's like 3
6.
montages. There is a moment. I'm pretty sure in this film, it's like montage, him talking to his son, and then another montage.
Yes.
Like, it just
Yeah.
runs right into each other. Like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing another montage
Yeah.
here again.
It's just cool to watch him work out, and then he goes and beats Clubber Lang in 2 rounds.
I guess.
Like,
I think I'm just much more compelled by that. It's
3?
it's that story of you've gotten what you've wanted. Now, how do you sustain
Sure.
what you actually
conceptually
wanted? Conceptually, that's fun to look
could have
at.
been good. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Adrian is given
Super
even
weak.
more short shrift in this
Yeah,
film. Mickey is Jewish, apparently. We didn't know that. He's given a last name.
That's
He's-
how I picture him.
He's
calling
now
everybody
Jewish.
tomato.
There's nothing wrong with him being Jewish.
No,
It just
no.
comes out of kind of nowhere
Just hasn't been set up at all.
at all in any of the other two movies.
There's an attempt at some progressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
We get the first gym Apollo comes from.
See that look in their eyes, Rock? Gotta get that look back, Rock. Eye of the tiger, come
We
on.
get a little bit of this racial tension,
Right.
bit of this racial tension. Polly's back to being a crazy asshole. So it's like he's saying some really egregious, terrible, racist things. And then they're like, all right, let's go box.
But the
other-
character's still fun, and I like the fights. I don't know. It's won me over.
I don't know about Stallone as a director. First Blood, Rocky 1, they were directed by other people.
yeah.
And as soon as he takes over and helms it, he's a great writer. And the movies are functional. But he doesn't have that sort of like
There's no
auteurness. I
there's
don't
no
know.
flair to it. Like, I don't think
Texture,
he's taking like a
character.
bad, like awful director, but there's nothing that makes him stand out either.
Yeah.
He's completely functional.
I think that's why I got bored with this one.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't give me the arty, like, if you watch Rocky, you get that art grittiness, right? It's like very 70s.
Well, yeah, it's
Disgusting.
unfair maybe to make this comparison, but just because they're two boxing films, like look at
Yeah, Raging
Scorsese's
Bull.
Raging Bull versus something like this, where it's like, maybe just boxing is inherently cinematic, but you can see what happens when you get an auteur like a Scorsese filming boxing versus Stallone's like, yeah, just place the camera here. It'll make sense. It can be thrilling, but there's nothing special about it either.
Our guest, Jennifer Sanford, is a huge self-proclaimed Rocky nut, has these ideas of what each film is supposed to represent. But for me, the first one is so beautiful because he actually does win at what he's trying to achieve. He doesn't
Right?
need the belt.
He goes the distance.
He wants to go the distance, right? It's just beautiful writing.
Man, I won, but I didn't beat him.
I mean, I think this movie made him $200 million too.
Actually, this adjusted for inflation is something like $900 million this movie made. Like, it made
Stallone.
so much money.
Stallone was banking. The only, I guess, superficial thing is if you do watch First Blood and you watch Rocky, they're shot in the same year, but whatever he did, he's like, what is it? 2.5% body fat?
Oh my
It's-
God. Yeah.
it
He is
doesn't make any
so
sense.
shredded.
My suspicion is that's why this fight was only 2 rounds.
Yeah.
He
He
probably
passed out.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is all could be
3.
marketing speak,
Sure.
but apparently he ate 10 egg whites and a slice of bread every day. Like that was what he ate. That's it.
That's what made Rocky better. He ate the yolks. Got to keep that cholesterol low. Is cholesterol in the yolk?
Sure.
I used to think the yolk was the chicken and not the little thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it turns out that's just the food for the embryo to
I
eat.
wish it was the chicken.
Be a big chicken. They're yellow. They come out yellow.
Have I told the story about how there was someone I went to school with who was convinced that rabbits were born from eggs because of Easter? True story. You're 21 years old. There is no reason you should think this.
It'd be cute
But,
to watch a rabbit shoot an egg.
It's the eye of the tiger, folks. Eye of the tiger.
What are we watching next week?
We are getting a wish, a death wish.
Gross.
I'm going to hate it, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to go and see some Bronson.
Yeah, we need some Bronsonisms. You got a wish? Death wish? I don't know.
That's where Mickey said, "You're a tomato." Charles
You're all
Bronson.
washed up.
Bust you up. Go for it.